Hi, everybody. It is your favorite managing broker, Paul Blackburn, and I am joined today with MRich of Braun and Rich. And today we're going to be talking about one way that you can go above and beyond for your clients and help them avoid pitfalls. And he's going to show you a really cool tool, which is going to be the Chicago building website. Is that correct, Matt?
Yeah, building permit inspection website.
Fantastic. So he's going to show us basically how we can go ahead and use this website to find out if there's any code violations or any other issues around their property. So Matt, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Paul. Real quick, I'm MRich of Braun and Rich. We are a boutique real estate law firm. We focus on residential real estate transactions for first-time buyers all the way to seasoned veterans and buyers and sellers. We represent the whole gamut. I spent my early career doing residential, then moved to commercial, then moved to commercial. And then in 2011, I worked for an alderman. So I have a zoning background as well. And now as of 2013, I'm back working with Greg Braun, really focusing on residential stuff to give the clients a pretty dynamic and concierge feel. So before I jump into the website, I want to talk about what this website is and what it isn't for agents. What it is a chance for agents to issue spot matters for your sellers and for your buyers. So, before you go into a listing or execute a listing agreement with your seller and you're getting answers and questions answered from the seller, it's a chance to go and look and raise questions to them. And I'll talk about what it is in a second. As far as buyers, it's a chance for you to look at the property and say, hey, is there anything funky going on with it? Whether it's a single family home or whether it's a multi-unit building or even like a 3-flat, for example, like where you're buying a condo in a 3-unit building. This is a really good source. What it isn't is any kind of obligation for an agent to explain problems, counsel on them. They shouldn't be doing that. It's really just for you to talk to the clients and raise questions. And even if for your trusted attorneys to say, hey, I saw this, can you help me navigate through this? Or can you talk to the client and counsel them on that? So I thought what I would do is just simply show you a property that we helped the client on that they ended up walking away from, and I'll explain what some of the issues were, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So you should be now looking at the building permit inspection records website. And when we get to this website, and on Paul, you'll have the link that you can send out with this video. You'll, of course, just want to accept the terms. There's no harm in doing that. And I'll be showing you everything with my mouse. So that's what we're looking for. So in this particular case, we looked up the property, and this one was 852 West Lil. And we looked it up. And we come to this layout, this particular page for this particular property. So 5 things we do when we look at the property, going over it real quickly. First, here, do I have the address correct? It's possible that it may take you to a common address that isn't exactly the address you thought it was. You can always verify that using the post office website. You can go to the zoning website for the city. Sometimes the common address may not totally line up with the building address. Maybe 2 lots where the east side is recognized, but the west side isn't. So just something to look for. So in this particular deal, our client was buying a 5-unit building, had done all of his financials based on what a 5-unit building would bring. And right off the bat, we showed him that, if you see my mouse on the way right side here, the city, even though this website isn't the official determination, the city initially is only recognizing this as a 4-dwelling unit property. That's a huge problem for our client in this situation because all of their financials are based on a legal 5-unit building. If it turns out that it's not a 5th unit that's legal, his whole financial model changes. We look into this particular property further. We go through all the permit history, which you can see here. And we even go down and see that the city said, okay, in 2007, there were alterations and repairs to an existing basement, and the basement was to be used for storage, plumbing, and HVAC only. So this situation meant that that basement unit, that was the 5th unit, was not a legal unit, and the city was looking at it that way as well. So right off the bat, we have a problem. that's one issue spot that you can help with your clients, looking at the dwelling units, if they're buying a single family home. And if it's a single family home and you see that the city shows it as a 2 dwelling unit property, you may be in a situation where they illegally deconverted it from 2 units to a single family home. So something to think about as you look through the property. This website is particularly great when you are talking to people who have done work and have advertised the work being done. So in this building permit section here, you'll see all of the work that has been permitted or permits that were applied for. So if you go into a home and you submit an offer for a rehab property that's been substantially or gutted, and you don't see any kind of permits being pulled or this particular section filled up, you want to ask your attorney, hey, they're advertising it this way, but I'm not seeing any permits. Your buyers need to know that going in, and sellers who are advertising that need to find out like how they're going to deal with that if they get a pesky attorney like me on the other side who knows what they're looking for. So this is a great section where we find out what permits have been pulled and what they've done to the property. The fourth thing I want to show you is the building citations. Now, this particular property, even though this deal that fell apart was in 2018, suffered from another building citations and case activity. So if you see this, you may say, okay, this building has been cited. I want to know what's going on. I went ahead and looked at the properties in the Cook County website this morning. I identified that the cases have been closed, so that's good. Your attorney can help you navigate that. But if you see that, you want to make sure you understand where the property stands from a legal standpoint. And the final thing, which I love, particularly when you're buying new construction, are all the inspections related to the permits they pulled. So if you're buying a single family home, and the single family home, of course, requires the city to come out and inspect it. It requires multiple inspections. It requires 4 or 5 different departments come out and look at the property and do a final inspection. So if you see things like partial passed, that's not good enough. You want to see passed. You want to see passed. So you're looking right now and saying, okay, has the city even done any review of the property after it was built? It's really important because if you go in for permits later on when you're the owner, or if the city comes back somehow, which is not always likely, but they may raise a red flag and say, hey, why wasn't this closed out? Or if you go in for your permit for a totally different issue, they may say, hey, I noticed here that you didn't finish getting all of your permits closed out or inspections done. Why? Now you're the new owner. And of course, those are your problems. So this website, even though a lot of the things I just mentioned are like red flags and alarms, it does give you great information to, like you said earlier, make yourself look like a star for your clients, before the process even starts. And I use this in almost every transaction. Sometimes those big buildings, we don't necessarily need to look here, but anything small, single family home, small multi-units, we're taking a look at this website to check it out. And that's kind of all I have. I'm happy to walk through any of your agents with this website offline, but I thought this would be important for you to have for your agents at the offices.
Thanks a lot, Matt. I appreciate it. And I think, you really hit the nail on the head of us being able to show our value and look like a rock star to our clients as much as we can. And this really does 2 things, right? This helps us avoid pitfalls for our buyers and avoid pitfalls for our sellers as well. Maybe there is something they're not aware of. And if we can have this tackled prior to going under contract, fantastic, right? We could avoid that situation. And I'm sure you see that a lot.
I'm working on a property right now where the sellers 3 years ago did massive work to a landmark home, and none of the permit inspections were done, which is alarming. They are actually right now going back to the city to have the inspections completed from a 3-year-old project. So, and my client's going to be in great shape when he goes to sell because everything will be on the up and up. So this is really good initial, kind of due diligence.
No, fantastic. So we'll make sure we have the link in the email. Go ahead and you can click on that and actually visit the this website here. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can reach out to Matt. We'll have his information in the email and below this video as well. Thanks so much, Matt, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it.